Hello everybody and welcome to the glorious Smite League lower division. This evening we have got a match between Protectors of Yggdrasil and Team Euphemism. A match in the lower half of the rankings so far with how the seedings have gone in games. But Protectors of Yggdrasil had a little bit of a shake around picking up Lockie in the solo. We're going to see how this change is going to work out with things. Fredis going back to ADC. You are joined tonight by myself, Ginger Archer, and Outso on the casting desk with printers doing the very arduous but very underappreciated job of spectating for us tonight. Outso, how are you?
I'm fine. Just looking at the bans here. Nothing jumping out so far.
I think I do see a respect ban from Protectors of Yggdrasil, the Chernobog ban. Cookie's been playing that a lot in the league recently, quite consistently and doing quite well with it, so I think that's definitely a targeted ban. Chernobog's presence, definitely not bad either way, but it's a good ban. And then we also see now, because of this, Raven is sneaking through and Poseidon picked into it, but Raven kind of eats up a Poseidon. This is an interesting start here.
Yeah, Euphemism was kind of target banning out of Blank to Guyomi with the top mages, with Yuhong and Baba. Decided to pick Poseidon. That's a bit interesting first pick. There's a lot of counters with Poseidon.
I think, don't get me wrong, he's got good ability to farm, but I mean, already with the Raven just being allowed to go through and, he can avoid the entire combo. Kepri there as well can just stop someone from dying to it. A nice little start to the draft here by Euphemism. It's going to be interesting to see how Protectors of Yggdrasil counter this, whether they value and execute, or how they're going to sort of manage the rest of this draft.
It's probably gonna also need some peel for this Poseidon now with Ravan, which is already kind of hard to peel anyway, with how much CC immunity he has in his kit.
It's not only that, it's the mitigations as well. He can just prevent so much damage. Also a flex, I mean, this could come out in the jungle or the solo lane, really. I mean, Euphemism have got the option here to spread it either way. We did that yesterday. In our set, we picked the Raven first, but I mean, that was open for jungle war, solo lane, and they've got this option here as well. There's no reason that Raven can't go into the jungle and apply pressure from there, as we see Cthulhu getting picked up, probably for the solo lane. Cthulhu quite strong at the moment. Does okay into Raven, can clear decently with Gem. So, not a bad lock. Not a bad pick at all.
Yeah, Guardians have been popping up more and more on the solo, now with the Conduit gem buffs, giving them able to clear.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing of it. Like, Gemma Focus was never bad, Guardians were never bad, but just this ability to be able to actually do anything early game being back just allows these gods like Cthulhu to be relevant, and then we're getting the Ganesh locked in and alongside it.
That is a really good front line already.
It is also a nice little counter to what's there. It can just stop Kepri from being able to cast that out on time and nullifies him fairly decently in lane as well, stopping that grab coming in or the dash away. So nice pickup there from Protectors of Yggdrasil. I like this Ganesh. Interesting to see how Don's plays on it. I've not seen it too much from him so far. And I hate this. Charybdis.
I mean, yeah, I know you don't like the god, but that is still pretty safe.
She's
I
also
mean, I
banned at the
probably would.
moment. She's
Is
got
she?
the
Oh
invisibility
yeah,
bug on
the
her 3,
invisibility
so
bug. Yeah.
that's gonna be interesting. We're probably gonna have to remake this one. But I'm interested to see even the logic behind picking this, because Charybdis right now just isn't that strong. You're
I mean,
probably not gonna get in your free very quickly to avoid the ults, especially if you get in silence. She's just not that great.
yeah, I would assume the point is just to be safe, but then again, why would you not just pick Qingwei? If you're
Hachi
planning,
man.
or
Yeah.
Hachiman, yeah, for a safe lane.
Yeah. I mean, both of them more viable than Charybdis here. She just doesn't scale up well at all. And it turns out she is indeed banned, so we're probably going to have to remake this lobby. Other picks will remain the same. Overall, looking at the drafts, good front line from Protectors of Yggdrasil. I'm still not sure about this Poseidon coming in, but the Raven and Kepri, strong from Euphemism, can be played around, so it's quite even so far.
To be fair, the Poseidon also could go to jungle for
It
Ghost
could.
Rider, so
It could indeed.
still a bit of flex potential there.
Yeah. He's been working on, I know his jungle recently, so he's probably been looking at sort of more picks and expanding the god pool. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see this able to be flexed between the two of them for sure. But also there definitely the potential for Blank Tsukiyomi to take this in mid. The guy can definitely carry these games very hard, and I think if we're looking at standout players in this game, he is going to be probably the standout player. I think technically the best player on Protectors of Yggdrasil, and just is able to shot call really nicely for them, whereas on the other side Euphemism, Cookie is a good player. He's been able to hold out his lane and do some really good work on the Chernobog before, but it's whether without that god he's able to have quite as much impact as he has done. So it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forwards.
Yeah, also interested to see what they decide to pick up instead of this Charybdis. Are they still going for that super safe laning with like Qingwei or Hachiman, or do they switch it up or something more aggressive?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the stats table. It's interesting that Protectors of Yggdrasil are above Euphemism when they've got a worse points difference.
Yeah, but the points show that Protectors have -1 and Euphemism is at 0.
And they've not played before now.
To be
The
fair, they're
main interesting thing, King Kai is down in 6th. Now that is a big drop for a team that, you know, after the first split, many would have tipped to be up there, but they've really just ever since the mid-season tournament, they've just fallen down the pecking order quite heavily.
Yeah, the roster problems really hitting them hard.
Yeah, but even I mean, since then they've remade, but now lack of consistency and just not being able to find anything in terms of having their regular support, their red, purple, blue. I think that's the main hitter, just because of the cohesion that he brings and how much setup he brings for that team. They've still got very capable players, don't get me wrong, but when you're playing with subs and bringing them in for the first time, it can be difficult. So I understand why, but it just feels like Alfie and Morton as a duo, as a combo, have just not quite able to have as much impact as they used to have at the start of this. I think maybe people have got used to what they're going to do. Player teams around them have improved and improved at a faster rate than they've been able to do themselves.
Yeah, we will see what will happen when they finally get their roster together completely.
Yeah, absolutely. In the meantime, we are going back into the draft here, back up to the point that we were at, and we are now seeing how this changes between Euphemism Protectors of Yggdrasil and where this ADC pick is going to go to instead, or even if they plan to draft something else here, which is quite possible. The
And it
Jingwei
is gonna
getting
be the
locked in.
Jingwei, yeah. That way,
Yeah,
that really makes sense. So the similar kind of pick,
it
safety on
does
lane.
for safety in lane. I don't know how safe it is in team fights though. I mean, right now, if you've got that Poseidon mixed with a Ganesh, where I'll put the Ganesh Silent, I just don't see that there's much way to get out of it. You're gonna have to be popping relics every time, and if you don't have those, you're a sitting duck. And as the other bans come through, Bats and Heimdall being banned out, um, and Morgan, Lefay, and Thoth on the other side. And we see Nemesis getting through the draft quite heavily here, going to Lupo in the jungle.
The protectors of Yggdrasil just focusing on that mid lane. Don't want to give freak out Thoth or Morgan. So instead they get this Nemesis. I'm not sure if that's smart or... So I've seen some of Euphemism's games and Lupo has seemed very strong player in the jungle. Giving him this Nemesis. Especially when you have this Cthulhu.
Yeah, the Nemesis is going to be able to run the two tanks here quite heavily, and Lupo has piloted this Nemesis before and piloted it quite successfully, so it's interesting that it's been able to get through. Other thing I'm surprised at is the Heimdall ban. Like, maybe it's just something that Cookie doesn't like laning against, but
I mean, I can't blame him. I hate laning into Heimdall too.
yeah. But at the same time, Heim just not overly strong right now, not synergizing brilliantly with crit, especially after the changes to crit and the damage, where he's already doing reduce. It just takes him so much longer to get online in terms of his output compared to other hunters. So, an interesting ban. I'll be honest, I think if they were going to ban anything, it wouldn't have been necessarily ADCs. I would have just looked to ban maybe junglers or
Yeah,
mids to
maybe
flex it.
just wanted to not use more than one ban to the jungle just in case this Poseidon might beat the jungle. So
Yeah,
also
but then
wanted to get rid of one
yeah,
ADC.
fair. They also could have put a ban towards
And
mid,
also
like
it's
either way they're
gonna
hedging
be
bets.
actually gonna be Tiki Tak playing ADC for protectors and not Threados.
Now that
Tiki
is
Tak,
interesting.
Tiki Tak. That is not his main role.
I'm gonna say he's normally a mid player, so we'll see how this goes for him. Threadus able to hold his own as ADC, so Tiki Tak coming in. This would be interesting. Almost like would have liked to have seen him mid and actually let Blank take the ADC role, who has actually shown in his first game for Protectors how good of an ADC he can be. Piloted the Ho Yi and can't remember what he played in the second game. I think it might have been Arama, but he did very, very strongly on it. So interesting that they've let this through.
Yeah, but I guess they just wanted to use as much of the main roster as possible on their own roles.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think going silently under the radar as well is actually what Loki can bring from the solo lane. I mean, we've put this man on a Cthulhu. I know we've said that, you know, the Nemesis can deal with it relatively well, but he's a very capable player here. New into the team, drafted up a couple of weeks ago, but very solid. And I think a few teams were looking at him as a potential free agent, so they've done well to pick him up here. And I think very, very strong person to play around and allow them to be a frontline in these engagements. And hopefully we can see some contrast then from Dons in support, who likes to play quite forward, and see if he almost will be more of a peeling role in this set as we're waiting for the next two picks to come through. Protectors of Yggdrasil really taking their time with this, thinking through what they want. What would you, if you're in this position here, you're looking at the draft of Euphemism. What are you looking to pick up here, Alzo?
For the Euphemism?
For Protectors of Yggdrasil.
Honestly, I might put this Poseidon on jungle myself and just pick up a double hunter here.
Yeah, I like the idea. You can kind of shred the Rava and deal with the Nemesis.
Something like AMC, that's pretty good dealing with Kepri, and then whatever Tiki Tech prefers on ADC.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Blank play the AMC before. It did get ran out a fair bit, but did quite well. And honestly, we're not looking at any real heavy CC here on the side of Euphemism, so probably quite a safe pick as well to go for an AMC right now. They're really going to be relying on this mid laner to actually get the CC in for them. And I'm just trying to think of who they can actually draft here themselves to sort of round out this team here, Euphemism.
Yeah, they're probably gonna need a mid laner with some CC, because as you said, there's not much. Ravana has a root, Jingwei a knock up, Nemesis just slows. Yeah. They're really heavily relying on Kepri CC in the fights.
Indeed, I'm wondering if a Persephone pick might get valued here, just for the CC that the ult brings. You can put it on that low cooldown if you build into a cooldown. So it's very much quite possible.
Honestly, I might look for ESET here.
Yeah, you got the secure, but
not a huge fan of ESET mid normally, but that would just, at least that would bring the CC with the silence and the stun.
Yeah, you can really sort of zone around the Poseidon then as well. Like, you've got that ultimate, and your players can sit into where you're giving them the healing, you're giving them the protections as well as the silence that's there. It wouldn't be awful at all. I agree, it would be nice. Just trying to think what else there would be that could do well here. I'm really just, with Morgan gone, the Thoth gone, like, there's just so many limits to what's available.
There's still also the option for protectors. Actually, actually both teams just go for the Morrigan. There's plenty of good transformations here.
Yeah.
Thulu, Ravana, Nemesis, Poseidon.
Yeah, yeah, you are correct indeed. As well as late game, just having 2 hunters online, which is never going to be terrible at all. Turns out there has been yet another drafting error on the side of Euphemism. So we are waiting for them to get this sorted once again. Surely this has got to be punishment page.
You on that nemesis, thinking her shield is real scale. Walked on that piss, I got my scythe on me. Pray to God, I don't hit it, or you'd be the one on that gray scale. Yeah, spitting puzzle plus might, even though it is shy. Fuck me, I need a new purpose in life, yeah. Welcome back to speed, fountain gang, rise up, run it down, no regrets, spawn back at the fountain, yeah, fountain gang. Mr. Thana won't get removed from the team, but unlucky we try again. Pure skill flowing down my veins. No pussy guys on my track. Yeah, we talk about you, Capri, ugly ass. But give me a rest. Only thing you good at, you fucking old. But don't even get me started on you, Aries. Yeah, let's throw it back to some skill. Crucible, be my cruising bro. Spinning, flipping, pushing peace. My man knocks up woman on the daily while looking kinda hazy. What I wouldn't do to be my cruising bro. Spitting buzz about smile even though it is shy. Fuck me, I need a new purpose in life. Yeah, I might be an old life, but you talking, walking, breathing, smile. Fuck man, you might need more help than me. You plebs are playing casual while I'm sitting in the Galarian League. I must be cooler, right? Never mind, casual's better than a bombshell. All the love to my boy Princess, but babies ruined the league. Should have seen that coming when all the big egos come together, turning it into a competition on who can cry louder. What a shame, really guess we bout to move on. I'm sorry, SB, you fucking legend. All the love's spaced out.
We are back. The crying fest is over. We're back in the picks and bans, and we're exactly where we were before because the judgment was made and people decided they didn't like it, and that's just called tough luck. Carrying on with the draft, we see a Ratatosker immediately locked in for the jungle here, Ghost Rider. I mean, we know he likes this. It's an interesting.
That also finally solid makes this blank Bane on this Poseidon.
Yeah, unless it's Ratatosker mid. But
I mean, I doubt.
I also doubt it. An interesting one, and the Apollo locked in.
Apollo,
No.
yep.
I played a game of Apollo earlier. He's not that good right now. Like, he's not. He's not terrible.
He's never bad, especially with the current items. But yeah, he's definitely not up there.
Yeah. The thing is, like, right now in the league, he gets the ult off, but it takes him so long to rotate with, like, the wind up, and then he gets there with no mana. So by the time he's there, he's not really able to do a huge amount, and he's lost his tower. Now,
yeah.
In this game as well, you're looking at that Euphemism comp, you're going to want a Nickfall, deal with a Nemesis and a Jingwei in teamfights until you can get that kin size done late game. So, he's never really going to have too much mana, so his impact to rotate is just not really going to be there this game, and Apollo's just not performed in the league. I can't see that changing here.
Also a Tiamat, last pick from the Euphemism. Not exactly that high CC mage, but still providing some extra hard CC for the team.
Yeah, I think the problem right now is with Euphemism, they've got this nice core of Nemesis, Raven, and Kepri, which is a really good comp for just diving in and taking someone out of the fight. But there just doesn't seem like there's much going on after that, and like in the backline, the Jingwei I think just really upsets the team here. I don't think it does that much. If you replace that Jingwei over Hachiman, it can provide so much more with safer damage from range and just having as much like mobility in fights. Yes, it can't rotate back to lane as much, but I just think Hachiman would have been better, and I just think Jingwei in competitive is so overvalued because when have we really seen her get that far ahead and make a difference in matches?
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
I feel like with this comp, they Cookie Monster might be looking at a Zapman treatment that he's just gonna be left alone on the backline where everyone else is diving, and that's why he's on the Jingwei, so he can at least live a bit longer.
Kind of, but at the end of the day, you've got you've got a semi-global and a fully global ult there that can just kind of chase him down. I don't know. I think I do prefer the Protector's draft here, just because I don't think the Jingwei fits this team. I don't particularly like the Apollo either, but I think it'll be able to have more impact just because it provides such good self-peel. So once that, rather than use the immunity or use the ult, you just mez him and walk away, provided nobody else hits him. It can be really, really safe. So I'm giving this game one to Protectors of Yggdrasil on the draft. But I think going into the game, we'll have to see how it pans out. It really sort of depends on how this Nemesis can get ahead in the early game, if at all, and if it can just shut down the rat, stop it from existing early.
Yes, and then later on team fights, I'm interested to see how well they deal with this Cthulhu. They have the Nemesis ult, but I feel like Jingwei and Tiamat are not the best gods to deal with the Cthulhu, even after Nemesis ult. I mean, Jingwei is obviously good because it's the hunter. She's a hunter, but Tiamat, I really don't like Tiamat in the Cthulhu, unless they just try to die with this Tiamat too from the backline.
The main thing that the Tiamat can bring is just the huge number of abilities, right? So you get some cooldown, you get the Soul Reaver, and it's going to really sort of chunk down the Cthulhu on terms of you're using a lot of abilities on him. But for a lot of those, you have to, one, be in melee range. Two, that means you're not being able to peel for yourself because you're using it aggressively. And it's really situational in how it actually counters things.
Yeah, and also a lot of Tiamat's damage is channeled over a long period of time.
Yeah, and there's just the mobility on Protectors of Yggdrasil to quite easily avoid that. I mean, every single character having either a dash or a big movement speed increase, so going to be quite safe in terms of avoiding it, provided they position well in the first place. And I think overall, this is the aggression that Protectors can bring out with their frontliners and the jungler is just going to be too much for Euphemism to handle. I don't think a Raven and a Nemesis will do as much as the Ganesh Cthulhu and the Rat diving in when you've got so much damage return in the backline, so much safety in the backline of Protectors. I mean, I know Euphemism is quite safe, but I just don't see it doing as much to those as Protectors do to the dive of Euphemism. I can't see it happening.
Yeah, the backline from Protectors is also really good. Peel for each other, Poseidon and Apollo.
Absolutely. I mean, Poseidon can shut down the Nemesis dash. The Apollo, Serenade can just mesmerize the Raven and the Nemesis for 2.3 seconds. That's a huge duration on the CC there. So, yeah, I think definitely this one's going to go to Protectors, and I would.
Yeah, by the draft
Yeah,
definitely goes to Protectors, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, they've not been the most consistent so far this year.
And
so we'll see
always
how it
have to
goes.
remember that they still do have not their main roster here, so that will always at least somewhat impact things.
Yeah. As we're looking to get into this, I mean, key things. I think the main thing for Protectors is as long as the Rat doesn't fall behind, they're going to be fine. I genuinely think that's going to be the key thing. Because if this Rat falls behind, the Rat becomes worthless unless he transitions into more of a tanky build. Something tells me that we're going to see crit coming out on it. I just got a sneaking suspicion we are going to see Critatoska instead of the more consistent pen build or even tank build, or like partial tank where he gets the double flurries. I just don't think we're going to see it.
I mean, I personally don't like Crit Ratatosker, but I can see it working, obviously. Especially if he gets ahead. Also, on the other side, on Euphemism's side, it depends heavily how well this Nemesis can get out of the early game. If she's not too much behind, Nemesis will always have a great late game.
Yeah, it is going to be up to the Poseidon to sort of shut this down around level 5. If they can get a good pick onto the Nemesis, get a good kill on, get it onto either the Poseidon or the Rat, that's going to be really big. They just kind of have to bide their time until level 5. I think that's going to be when they want to take this fight, just because that Kraken is such a massive fighting power spike. And then from that stage on, they do that, and then they can look for invades when the Kraken's available. You can use it for good buff secure, objective secure as well. Not a huge amount of that on the side of Euphemism, if any even, whereas Protectors have got this big ult that can come out from the Poseidon, the Apollo can land down to steal things as well.
Yeah,
The
Protectors
objective
have
fight,
both.
yeah.
Yeah, Protectors have both Kraken and Ganesh ult for the objectives. Euphemism, decent burn with Nemesis Jingwei and Tiamat, but not almost any kind of secure for it. So they
Yeah.
will have to take the fights before going for objectives. And to be honest, I don't favor them in 5v5 fights either.
No, I just think they're going to be too split up. Because the Nemesis is going to be so fast and the Raven's going to be engaging so hard. By the time the Tiamat's channeled any follow-up, the fight's already going to have changed in the dynamic completely, and you're going to be looking at a new target potentially. It's the speed at which the draft plays is just different. You haven't got this hard engage or this hard poke. You've got a mix of both, and honestly, for a comp game, you just want to play around the strengths of one composition and just tie it together really nicely. I mean, Protectors have got that. They've got such a good ability to just dive and get picks here with two like semi-global and global ults and a Kraken to back it up, that they can just end a fight before it's even begun.
And I feel
That's
like
going to be what they're looking for.
Also, Protector's team comp has a really nice curve from early to late game. The Ratatoskr providing really good pressure early game. Poseidon starts to get quite strong around mid game already. Then Cthulhu and Apollo late game just huge in team fights.
It's just making sure that they can sort of keep that scaling up and keep themselves relevant in comparison to, let's be honest, Raven with the current build does scale well. Nemesis scales incredibly well as well with the passive. Jingwei getting that boosted crit chance with her too can do some real solid damage, and it's just making sure that they can time their plays around these and just really just play it smart. Get someone out of the fight. And if it's one of those three, that's even better. But honestly, even the Khepri, if you can take away the Khepri or just waste the ult on himself, that's another big swing. Because if Khepri has to ult himself, he's not going to be able to do much for a couple of seconds after while he revives. He's probably going to be waiting for cooldowns if he's had to use them to try and escape. He's going to be almost just a sitting duck again for a good 5 seconds, and like a traffic cone, he's going to be useless. There's not going to be much that he can do aside from body block until those cooldowns come back up. And it's then the Euphemism are going to need to peel around it, then they're going to need to engage smartly, and the backline are more vulnerable at that stage. There's no reason they can't engage on the Khepri. There's also no reason that they can't use a low delay spectator mode, but here we are, 4 minutes after the draft finished, still waiting for the goddamn game to start, and I'm getting angry. Where match? What is actually taking so long? Like, is there a pause, or what is going on right now?
Well, I hope we're gonna get into game 1 pretty soon.
Yeah, I think until the game starts we will take a quick break because I've run out of things to say. working! We got there! I'm going mental, but it's fine. Let's go! Builds are normal. Everything is boring. Let's skip to the buffs being cleared. Nothing's happening. Yay!
Took a while, but we're finally here.
We did it, folks. Smite Spectator finally decided to work for us. Now let's go and find out that there's a banned skin in use, so we have to remake everything again. Yeah, we do apologise for the delays, folks. Unfortunately, there was just a massive error with the Smite spectating. However, we are now here into Game 1 between Protectors of Yggdrasil and Euphemism. Hoping for a 2-0 personally, just so I can go to bed at a normal time. It is currently 9:15. My bedtime's in an hour and 45, so this is going to be real close for me.
I mean, I'm 2 hours ahead, so I definitely hope this is not gonna be a super long 2-1.
Yeah. Now, interesting points to see. We're seeing a blink on the Cthulhu straight away. Which
have
is
the jungle on
something
Poseidon?
that is, yeah, Poseidon with Eye of the Jungle. It is like a viable thing that I've seen. The Poseidon going into Eye late, Protector late onto the attack speed. Not too bizarre. Seeing Sands of Time has been coming back in for him a bit for the cooldown, just because it gives the extra clear now, but Eye not terrible. The attack speed does nicely on Poseidon with massive of the two, so not necessarily against it. Hunter build's fairly standard. Cookie getting some poke off, but really kind of ignoring clear. I think Tiki Tag there was a little bit scared, didn't necessarily need to be. They're actually looking really aggressive onto Cookie here. He pops a really early beads, I think unnecessarily. And that's already a relic out in the duo lane at level 1.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily see if Don's hit the dash there, so I'm not sure if Cookie even needed the beads. I guess better though. That's a good stun from there.
It is indeed. Goes right again, a little bit low here, and is it going to fall? Lupe picking up first blood onto the Ratatoska, which is not what was needed here for Protectors of Yggdrasil. We said how much earlier that we needed the Ratatoska needed to stay even until level 5 to shut this Nemesis down, and Nemesis has already found first blood not even 2 minutes into this game. That's a big swing into the jungle, 500 extra gold onto the Nemesis. And honestly, allowed by a really good use of the 2x freak out there. Really nice stun onto the Rat, who just had no escape after. I don't know if he had his dash even leveled, but really unsafe. And
Rider going in again.
Oh, down he's going, stepping up again. Ghost Rider falls again. Now 0-2 already. Lupo's going to survive this. And this Ratatoska really not finding any luck so far. That is some really poor luck here.
Just
not
getting
even
a
luck,
bit baited in by the low HP bar on Nemesis.
Yeah, no HP at mana, but he's blinked into a full wave. And a full mana Tiamat with cooldowns. This is
Yeah, at level 2, while both Tiamat and Nemesis were already level 3.
Yeah, not the play at all. They're going for the red buffs here. I almost would have liked, if Nemesis had more mana, to have looked for an invade here on speed. Backed, maybe even after the first blood, get that item available and just go in. Wouldn't have as much of a lead just straight away, but already having so much pressure, can definitely start looking to steal some camps away as this game goes further and further. For now, probably going to hard fire on the Golden Blade. Got those 2 kills, that's an extra 650 gold, so why not? As in solo, Lockie getting a little bit low, Omar just bullying him out. That warding sigil in this build actually doing really nicely against the Guardian solo laner.
Yeah, taking away a bit of that damage. We're just looking at the... I really don't like this mage build that Freakout's going with the gem into... I was just assumed that's going to be a Chronos pendant.
Most likely.
I kind of understand it on Tiamat, because you really want that Chronos passive for her to get as many abilities out as you can possibly get.
Yeah, that side of it definitely, but I feel like there's just better options. Having that health from a Warlock's on Tiamat when you're already stacking mitigations is really going to allow you to survive so much better in fights. And we're seeing actually something that's happened quite commonly in the games here for Euphemism, where Lupo's managed to get a lead in lanes, and it has happened a lot. What's going to be interesting is to see, Can it actually get capitalized on later on for once? Although he is blinking over here. Straight onto the Ratatasker. Good use of the dash there to grab Lupo and
Nemesis
stop
has
the
the
engage
ult.
from Dons. But now Dons is getting engaged on. Gets rooted by Kepri. Dons Gaming is going to fall here. Cookie Monster picking up a kill. It is 3-0 to Euphemism right now. And they're already looking at 1,000 gold lead within 5 minutes of this game beginning.
Yeah, things going quite the opposite that we were expecting them to. Euphemism getting really good start with this already quite heavily late game team comp with Nemesis Tiamat, Jingwei.
Yeah, and 2 of those late game carries really getting the kills early. This is dangerous for Protectors of Yggdrasil. They're really gonna have to farm up smartly here. That Nemesis with the early Golden Blade, the movement speed it gave. Smart play by Dons to get his carry and jungler out and to sacrifice himself for it, but it's still another kill going down and going on to the Jingwei as well. That gold is going to be really nicely appreciated by that hunter for the early Igfal spike. We do see here, Protectors of Yggdrasil looking for the blue buff invade. Ghost Rider there a little bit early. This is probably going to get spotted out by Lupo. And I don't think they want to take a fight
Blue
right
buff
now.
just spawned. I think he might get away with this.
Well, Lupo
Yep,
spotted it, but the steal does go through. And Ghost Rider now actually putting a nice bit of damage onto Lupo, who's dashed in, has no escape now. Locky there, going into the ult, but Ghost Rider misses the ult. Both knockups failing to connect, and Lupo's going to get out because of it. Really poor mechanical play by Protectors of Yggdrasil, throwing away a return kill onto a 2-0 Nemesis. And now we've got the rotation coming in from Depressed Rhino as well. Locky a little bit out of position. The ult collapses,
Also
he's
without
falling
ult.
low, Omar's there, ults in, but actually gets the root onto Depressed Rhino, who doesn't quite get the grab off. Now we do have Dons Gaming here, but he's just going to be looking to make sure that his solo laner gets out safely.
Yeah, no kills, but at least Protectors got that blue buff invade, so
Yeah.
not completely empty-handed. But there was a potential for a good shutdown on this Nemesis that would have helped Ghost Rider out.
Yeah, not terrible. No for O, at least they've not died, but really should have been getting that kill there. Some really unfortunate mechanical play, missing both the knockups onto a Nemesis with no dash. That would have just confirmed the kill for free.
And looks like he is not going for the crit acorn.
No, instead going smart, going for the extra CC. Just allowing himself to be annoying, force some beads out in this game, as we see actually Blank Tsukiyomi using the beads. Wonder if he got rooted there by the Tiamat, or if that was actually just a misclick potentially. I'll see as the game goes on.
Probably, no, I'm not sure if it was a stun from Tiamat or maybe a root from Kepri there. Just didn't want to get caught with low mana, so
Yeah.
burns
Already
speed.
seeing some big differences on warding here. If you look at the items and the inventories right now, Protectors of Yggdrasil, total of 5 wards. Whereas on the side of Euphemism, they've just placed a couple of extra ones as well. They had a total of 12 wards there before placing a couple there. Really controlling the vision out here and trying to get the control around the map.
A lot of red markers there in the map.
Oh, indeed.
With good ward coverage.
Yeah. Cookie doing some nice zoning here, just a slow Tic Tac taking the camp. Honestly, Tic Tac could have gone back to it there with a passive up while the Jingwei cleared. Probably gonna lose this camp now. Yeah, we see Kepri rotating as well. That is going to be an extra little neutral camp towards Cookie. Not a huge impact to the Scorpions, but something. The one that they really want to see if they can contest is that side camp that's spawning in about 10 to 15 seconds. Oracles are going to go down. Potentially a fight here. Ghost Rider looking at Freak Out, getting the protection shred onto him. Dashes in, Freak Out jumps away, and that'll be all she wrote for that one. Press Rhino's there, just hanging around, and nothing more coming of it. Lupa there, level 9. So is the Poseidon. Blank Tsukiyomi farming very well so far.
Yeah, meanwhile, Ghost Rider has dropped another level behind. Now level 7, Lupo's level 9.
Yeah,
really needs to find some farm somewhere.
Indeed. He's here on the duo side as well when he's got his entire right side jungle up. Nemesis had just stolen this, and he's lucky that the Nemesis isn't doing it again. If he lost 2 cooldowns, that would be such a big level spike. Though Lupo, Underpress Rhino looking aggressive here. Onto Don's Gaming. Getting some big damage, blocking the dash. Actually, Blank Tsukiyomi crack and whiff and using it for self-peel. Don's Gaming now out of position with no dash, but Depressed Rhino and Freak Out have just not followed up. That could have been a really free kill if they'd gone in on that with him. Bit of a
I don't know.
throne there.
No idea what happened there. There was cooldowns or what, because Lupo did burn the Nemesis ult onto Don's Gaming there. but I didn't see the block going in there, and the root
Yeah. Just
seemed
see.
like a really easy kill there, but
Absolutely, no reason it couldn't happen. As we see, Omar going for a blue buff invade does get it successfully as well, and then just ulting away Raven here with the Mystic Rush. Ghost Rider blinking in, does get the stun. Raven taking a lot of damage here from Ghost Rider, uses the overhead kick to just get himself out and sit safely in the tower. That's a blink and a Cthulhu ultimate used to go on to Omar here. Now Lupo's here, blinks in, nice stun from Ghost Rider. Is Lupo going to keep going? He's going to try, but that tower shot enough to put him off. Ghost Rider going
Ghost
into
Rider
the air here, but there's
high.
4 people. There's no way he goes on this. Not in a 4v2. No. Disengage
Yeah,
comes
a
out.
good decision not to go in there,
Mhm.
not to get baited by the HP bars.
Yeah, and Freakout making that rotation here, whereas the Poseidon pushing the mid wave in, and Freakout's just falling further and further behind here on the XP. Currently just the 1 level down, but I can't see it staying at just 1 for long. Blank Tsukiyomi really controlling this mid farm here.
Also looks like Ghost Rider is going towards the Transcendence, which I really don't like in this situation.
No, he's too far behind right now. He needs to get some earlier power spikes online so we can get back into this.
Meanwhile, Lupo probably going for that Hydras, which is also gonna be a good power spike for him.
Indeed, now. Protectors of Yggdrasil pulling Pyromans here. I don't really think they need to be that scared. They've got this Poseidon ult, the Kraken available. They're choosing to disengage, but not really necessary. Press Rider and Freakout are on the way over though, but they've got Tiki Tac with that Apollo ult available, and interesting the Apollo build here. I'm wondering if that's going to go into an early dominance almost.
Yeah, I
Cookie's
don't
stealing away the
see
purple.
what else it could be here. I mean,
I'm
I
really
guess
hoping
it
it's
could
not
be a trend.
Transcendence. I really hope
Yeah,
it's not.
yeah, let's hope it's not. But
Yeah, and actually, big rotation here onto Cookie, but Cookie's got ult and beads away. He's not scared right now. He's got this purple buff, and he's just going to walk away. Smart play hit there would have been to actually steal Cookie's purple away from him in return, but he's going to get both of them for the XP and just not really be too worried as Omar really bullying Loki here. Does the up down with a Mystic Rush, getting some big damage down, but the Cthulhu just too tanky right now. Not going to fall, but Omar is going to strip away most likely another blue buff. So Blank Tsukiyomi making the rotation here. Loki sticks around and that vision just spotting out the Poseidon rotation early, meaning that Omar is playing sensibly, choosing not to invade, and actually just choosing to live. Ghost Rider doing a lot of typing here.
T2 breastplate there really working out for the Cthulhu,
Absolutely.
saving his life.
Yeah, I mean, we
Go
saw just
Marvel.
how little the Ravenol did to him.
Yeah, with all Soul Eater completed, it's
Oh no.
what 40 power. I
Oh
think.
no. Out, so look what I've just seen.
Oh yeah, I've spotted that too.
Tiki
Yeah,
Tack's gone for the Transcendence now. I think trying to value here the idea of getting in the air and staying in the air with the Apollo ult, but this is really not the itemization. Slowing down the power spike, not able to match the sustain here of Cookie. He's already bullying you out of lane. You need to be able to stay healthy, and right now, just not able to do that. And Euphemism pulling the Pyromancer here. Protectors of Yggdrasil are well aware Ghost Rider going into the air. Maybe a little bit early here. He's going to have to commit to this. He's going down, drops down. Protectors of Yggdrasil steal the Pyromancer. Ghost Rider with a huge ultimate. Don's gaming over the wall as well. Both of them doing it. Ghost Rider is slowly ticking down to the Tiamat here, but is available and able to get out. Meanwhile, Loki is engaging really hard onto Lupo here. Lupo falling very low on health, but Loki once again missing the knockups. Nemesis able to walk away. Press Rhino here just in case. But overall, no kills going down so far, and Protectors of Yggdrasil steal away a Pyromancer.
Yeah, that's a really good ult. I also felt like Ghost Rider was a bit early with the ult, but just times it right and gets that Pyromancer steal and lives.
Yeah, I mean, Euphemism
Please.
should have just dropped it. They know how much confirm the Protectors of Yggdrasil have, and still having the Kraken down there, looking at a Gold Fury here. Press Rhino is looking over the wall, but he's not even going to have the chance. Kraken comes out late, but Protectors get the Gold Fury and a Pyromancer. Really nullifying the gold lead that Euphemism have. That's down to just 600 or 700 now. Really big swing for Protectors.
Yeah, we're pretty much even in gold here. Leads are still mostly on Euphemism's side. Looking at
The jungle,
one level on
largely.
solo, one level on ADC, but yeah, the 3-level lead, and it is gonna be the Transcendence for Ghost Rider, which is gonna be really slow power spike here.
Lupo here looking for a gank onto Tiki Tak. Tiki Tak spots him out on the ward and is probably going to be able to live. Lupo does use the ultimate. Tiki Tak there. Gets some mez off. Lupo preemptively beats. Tiki Tak going into the air. Just about gets himself out and Lupo gets nothing from it. Nice use of the beads. I almost feel like Tiki Tak should have held the dash there. The Apollo, getting the moves out very early. And it just means that the Nemesis can slow it down while it's going on. You don't really get value from the speed boost, but if you let the Nemesis ult you, Mez early and then dash after into the tower, you're going to be able to get out much more. You're actually going to benefit more from the speed boost from it and just be able to kite a bit better. As Ghost right here, getting engaged on, goes into the air and able to get out via the tree of Yggdrasil. But just falling further and further behind on farm. Lupo has done this rotation, not getting punished.
There's a good route from Rhino on Blank, but just missing on the block.
Yeah, surprising really. I think Blank would have been okay. Dons was around, that silence available, just able to stop the dash from lasting, but would have been enough to have caused some chaos as Blank here has a nice level lead here on Freakout and really recognizing the power that he brings on this Poseidon right now, getting a level a minute. So is Cookie, but really making this work for him. I'm gonna look at this Scorpion here.
We see the Warlock staff does come out from the Tiamat in the second slot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, it's still fine.
Yeah, I suppose I get it. I mean, I think logically you'd want the stacks on earlier as we see an engagement here in the solo laner, but Omar is just not going to care. He is so tanky right now. He's barely lost. There goes half of his health. He still has the overhead kick. He still has Mystic Rush available. He's got healing. He's got a Kepri supporting him, and I'm wondering here if they could potentially turn this. Freakout has made the rotation. Ghost Rider is out. Loki's out. Dons is out. Lupo actually using the blink to engage in there. Gets the ult onto Loki. Loki falling incredibly low here. Shell comes out from Dons, but Loki falls. Omar taking a fair bit of damage, but Dons and Ghost Rider around. But level 10 and level 12 collectively, they're not going to be able to do much here except secure blue buff. And Euphemism are looking to rotate onto the mid lane here. And Tsukiyomi does get engaged on. He's a little bit out of position here. Needs to drop the Kraken, but doesn't get the chance to even. Too much CC coming out and not able to get that damage out.
Holds on to the beat there, so...
Yeah, I think wanted to crack and really good beads. He was going to die. To save the beads, he was going to die there anyway, but if he'd got that Kraken out, the damage he could have put on would have been massive. Would have stopped any pressure. Luckily, Euphemism haven't used it. They could have taken a tower there quite easily.
Yeah, and also not the worst timing for Protectors to lose the two members because there's no objectives on the map.
Yeah.
So Protectors don't, I mean, Euphemism doesn't get much from those kills.
Completely true. Although Pyromancer is spawning here in the next 30 seconds or so, so that is going to be the next main location for fighting, and with the Apollo here, Kin's size the next pickup. I'm wondering if we're not even going to see any crit coming out from him this game.
That is possible because he also needs pen.
Yeah, massively. I've got a feeling we might be seeing a Silver Branch and Odibo. Loki here a little bit out of position, dashing forwards towards the wave. Lupo's here.
There's the three members here, he's just...
Yeah, he uses the ult. Nemesis pops the ult of her own. Does get knocked up, but Loki, without those protections, very vulnerable and does fall under the tower. Omar tanking it, but not taking much damage. The ult does come out on the side of Blank Tsukiyomi, but only connecting with Depressed Rhino. He's down to half health. Lupo using the beads and now looking for a dive onto Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider goes back up into the air. Lupo is about a third in health. Omar still there. Ghost Rider goes back down, actually, and Lupo dives in over after Blank Tsukiyomi. Ghost Rider now too low to really follow up. Omar picks up the kill on him. All members of Euphemism still alive. Don's Gaming now alone under this tower. Kepri still with the ultimate available. Omar's there tanking. Shell comes out. Don's Gaming does fall to Freakout, and now some big pressure for Euphemism. They have to decide what to do with it. Starting off with this tier 1 solo lane tower. Next up, probably Pyromancer.
Really good fight from Euphemism there. Starting from the pick on the Loki, Lupo having the kin size just burns through the health bar. Yeah. I feel like Protectors just rotating a bit late and deciding to stay after Loki already dies.
Yeah, I mean the main thing is they've got an Apollo ult and they've not rotated with it.
And also looks like Tiki Tak is going towards that crit, which means he is heavily gonna be lacking that penetration in the build.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to go the Wind Demon. I'm wondering if we're going to see Silver Branch and then sell the Iqbal for the Deathbringer. But right now, if you are building crit, there are two items you have to have. One of them is Deathbringer, the other one is Silver Branch. If you don't have that boosted crit combined with the penetration, you're not going to do enough net damage to be relevant to tanks. It's not going to happen. And
No.
with way fights are going, those are the people that Tiki Tank needs to be hitting, because it's very much Euphemism getting in the face of protectors and the backline being quite safe. They need to be hitting these tanks as hard as possible. Kins is great for that, but with no pen, it isn't going to happen. As Blank Tsukiyomi here gets engaged on, pops the beads, pops the sprint, still dies, doesn't even get the Kraken off once again in this death. Ghost Rider with a big 3-man stun with the Ratatoska, but Euphemism don't care. Lupo blinking forward slows him, but he's then going to end up disengaging, and that's going to be a most likely a Gold Fury in favor of Euphemism, unless Tiki Tak goes into the air and uses that across the skies for a steal. I don't think it's going to happen in time, as this Oni Fury, very, very low, does go down. Euphemism right now, they have a 7k lead.
Ghost Rider up in the air and the red ult, a bit too late for the steal. Decides
Yeah,
just to go back to the purple buff.
still not even stacked the Transcendence either.
Yeah, and then after Transcendence,
Serrated
I'm
coming
blanking.
in.
Serrated Edge, yeah, that's what it's called.
He's got the pen, but right now, Euphemism are just so huge. It's a clean game so far without any deaths. Lockie's going for this blue buff invade. I think does pick it up, but he's going to fall way out of position here. The Cthulhu getting run out again by this Nemesis. Kepri's there. I freak out there. This is a 5-man rotation. He does not live. Does take the tower, but Onis are now starting to move in on the side of Euphemism, and they're going to look for a fire giant here.
And I feel like they all should. Blank does have the Kraken up if he can get there in time, even because
Think
this is
he
burning pretty
I
fast.
think he can just about get there in time. Don's Gaming is buying him a little bit of time as well there with the Diamond Pillars comes out, Kraken comes out, Protectors, Yggdrasil steal the Fire Giant now. Breakout does take out Don's Gaming, Ghost Rider's low in the backline. Lupo takes out Blank Tsukiyomi, but that steal is massive. Ghost Rider uses the beads. Cookie Monster using the ult to chase after him. Ghost Rider now getting body blocked really nicely by Depressed Rhino. That's a 4-kill swing for Euphemism. They do lose out on the Fire Giant, but they're not going to care too much. Only minions pushing in here. Tiki Tak still not rotating with this Apollo ult. And that's going to be a tier 2 tower going down in favor of Euphemism here. 4-kill swing. I mean, the Protectors have... They're fairly out of this one right now. This is going to be a Phoenix for Euphemism.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, it's good steal from Blank there, but I feel like they should have just called everyone else off. Just leave the side and go there alone. Try to Kraken it. If yes, then it's good. If not, at least you don't lose.
Lupo almost suiciding for a tier 2 tower here. Omar and Cookie are going to walk in there and take it eventually, but risky plays there. No need to die unnecessarily when you've got so much momentum here.
Yeah, 8k down, kills 0 and 14. This is looking really clean from Euphemism.
It absolutely is, and Euphemism just dominant here and showing why they are currently the fifth place team in the league. They showed a lot of ability last week in their game. I think they took the win in that as well. Lupo did some huge work in the jungle, and he's doing it again here right now, really making a huge impact against Ghost Rider, who has just suffered massively on this Ratatoska. Ever since those first 2 kills, you had a feeling that this game was doomed, and it certainly has followed up that way. Lupo just abused this lead massively.
Yeah, Ratatosker falling behind early and not doing himself any favors with the build he's going. Now looks like he's going towards the defense tree.
Yeah, Blank
With the
Tsukiyomi
best
get
play.
the ult off onto Lupo. Nice use of the ults there just to keep him alive from him and Dons. Lupo staying alive himself, not caring too much, but does use both of his relics in favor of none from Protectors of Yggdrasil. So small win there, in terms of where the next fight's going to come from. But I don't think Euphemism are too worried.
Yeah, I feel like they're not probably gonna even push into these phoenixes yet. They just go back to and spend the gold. Now they're really looking. They're already at the. Some of them are already at the 6 item slots here.
Yeah,
While
Pyromancer coming up. I mean, Protectors of Yggdrasil realistically have to just give this away here right now. They're so far behind that that one item is not going to make a difference. And on the other side, Ghost Rider opts into a Spectral Armor against a single crit item Jingwei, who's got 3 kill participation and nothing more.
yeah,
That is not the play here.
yeah, he has really put himself even more behind with this build.
Yeah,
Already starting with the Transcendence when you're 2 levels behind, and now with the defense, especially
yeah.
when it's just Spectral.
Absolutely. If he was going to
Yeah.
transition to tank, just fully transition to tank. Go for the Glad Shield. Don't even bother with the Spectral. Just get pure. Go for a full defense game, and just be a nuisance. Because right now, with the damage, he's doing nothing. If you can actually take a look at the player damage, I can't imagine that this Ratatosker is very high here. No, 6,000 damage. And the worst thing, I think, for Protectors of Yggdrasil, Ticky Tack. Only just hitting 2,000. We're 24 minutes into this game, and you have a global ult.
Yeah, we haven't
That's
seen.
revoltingly bad.
I feel like have we seen any Lupo getting Kraken there? Good build from Plan, but
Oh,
freak out
really nice one
just
from my freakouts to get the kill across the wall.
through the wall.
Yeah, Tic
Uh,
Tac's finally used the ult, and he's going to Fountain with it.
yeah, I feel like that's like the second ult I've seen from him.
Yeah, the first
One,
one was defensive.
and this one was, I guess, Vision.
I don't even know what it's been used for. It's been completely wasted. Fire Giant comes up in about a minute. He may just about have it up in time with the cooldown coming in from Transcendence, but it's going to be close. It's going to be very, very close indeed. And right now, I think Euphemism are just happy to do what they're doing and be very content with it. Like, there is no pressure coming in return from Protectors of Yggdrasil outside of these camp steals that they've done. There's been nothing at all, and that's less likely to happen now with that Primal Fury going down, with Euphemism just doing more damage to objectives.
Lupo Targentado going for the Xe, just buffing his own Omar's and Cookie Monster's damage to the targets. This is just gonna be problematic for Loki.
Lupo blinking in, getting some big damage onto Ghost Rider, who has to go up into the air and walk away again. It was really just outside of a steal, not found anything with the Ratatosker ults in this game, and Lupo's just been running freely in here. 6-0. Whoever dies on Euphemism is going to feel really bad in this one because they are going to be branded as a feeder for the rest of the sets. You can guarantee it.
And for their sake, let's hope more than 1 people die.
Yeah, most definitely. Lockie here looking for, I don't even know what across the wall. Maybe just to slow them down a little bit, but they're only going to push the wave anyway. They don't care. Ticky Tack continuing his crusades down the left lane on an untouched tower as Apollo.
If Euphemism
What has he been doing?
spots him on the wave there, that should be the go button for this Phoenix.
Yeah, he is
He's
backing,
gonna
but
channel the back, but he's
too
not
late.
gonna be here in time.
Yeah.
Loki ulting, meeting Lupo already
yeah,
meeting him with the Nemesis
and
ult there.
Blank Tsukiyomi using the ult on the Raven. The Raven just doing exactly what's expected and immuning it with the overhead kick. Loki falling very low, having to return to the fountain, as is Blank Tsukiyomi. He's come back out. Ghost Rider's out of this one. Lupo is the feeder of Euphemism. Blank Tsukiyomi picks up a kill. Phoenix goes down. I don't think the rest of Euphemism care too
Ticky Tack
much.
is up in the air on
And lands
down and
on nothing. He went to kill that ward. He saw that ward and he thought that needs to die. So yeah, using the Apollo ult there, really smart move. Definitely the play there to take that
They are
out.
chasing this down with the sprint.
I don't think they
here,
can.
but
Khepri still has ult. Jingwei still has ult. Ghost Rider here is just gonna die, taking way too much damage here. The damage from Cookie Monster finally coming into these fights, finally overtaking the Khepri. Freakout's not too worried about his health in that stance, getting the mitigations, and they're running it down the lane where they've already taken the Phoenix. Push in mid. You guys have got your Hunter still, you can take that.
yeah, there's still Capri ult and Jingwei ult on the board for Euphemism.
The only real threat to them right now is Kraken, and then if they can avoid that or just negate what it does, then I don't see that Euphemism really care that much, but they're choosing to play it safe here. They're probably going to strip away this Scorpion, take a Pyromancer, and just go about their business. No rush here from Euphemism. They're 12k up. They don't need to rush.
I also feel like this Poseidon build is not working at all.
I think going for the glyph when you're so behind on gold already. I can understand going the seer. Sure, you want that vision in the jungle to be the ability to be a ward, but what camps are you clearing that allows you to actually get that right now? Because Euphemism just have so much pressure. It's really not the play. I think you should have just gone to get another item online. The protections aren't going to do much against the Nemesis. You get ulted, you get shredded. This is just not going to do it for them right now.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just the front line of Euphemism is just living their best life, while neither of the projectors carries having more almost any percentage pen.
Yeah, there's just no issue. I mean, Freak Out right now having a really great game as the mid laner here. Cookie not doing as much as I would have liked, and just showing again Jingwei really just not that strong in the competitive scene right now with the meta that she brings, at least at this level. Just not finding the ability to do anything. Less than 10k damage. Sure, doing structure damage, but you'd expect any ADC ahead to be doing this much at this stage, so I would like to see a transition off of that into the next game. As we see Euphemism here pushing with the Fire Giant, looking for the engage, going straight onto blank. Tsukiyomi does get a Kraken off, but Omar takes almost no damage. Luco gets the kill. Lupo is a little bit low. Tiki Tak and Ghost Rider chase him down, do get the kill, but Don's Gaming now very low. Omar chasing that down, uses the Mystic Rush aggressively. Don's Gaming gets rooted. Omar picks up that kill. Ghost Rider now having to do everything against this on his own, while Lockie's there, valiantly defending the Phoenix, but falling low. Tiki Tak goes on to Cookie Monster, misses the So Beautiful with the Apollo. Cookie Monster making sure that Phoenix goes down, and Tiki Tak just running away. Lockie falls as well. That's a double kill for Omar. 3 down on the side of protectors of Yggdrasil. Tiki Tak and Ghost Rider here have to defend alone. I don't know if they can. Cookie's low, but is going to get round out. The Capriole comes in huge. Really nice from Depressed Rhino, using it at right perfect moment there. Depressed Rhino picks up the kill onto Ghost Rider. Cookie takes out Tiki Tak. 5 dead for protectors of Yggdrasil. Clean sweep for Euphemism. And that's game 1.
And in the end, it was Lupo that also that second time, so he is gonna be the single feeder in Team Euphemism here.
Yep. But I don't think he minds. Absolute massive difference. Honestly, across the board there. I don't think there's anyone who can really say that they did a huge amount that game. I think Blank can argue it maybe was able to do some damage, but the Krakens just weren't hitting the mark. And how could they when you've picked Poseidon first with Raven available? You're just setting yourself up to fail. The draft could have been good, but Tiki Tak and Ghost Rider just doing essentially nothing through the game. Lockie seemed almost to give up with some of his positioning in this game, and Euphemism deservedly taking game 1.
Yeah, I mean, the start already was kind of disastrous for the protectors. With
Yeah, Ghost Rider dying, it lost. I think that just lost the entire momentum in the game. Lupo, we've seen before, does well with a lead, does really well, and that lead was just handed to him on a silver platter. Twice, he got a 2-course meal. Ghost Rider dying twice in that early game, and I just don't think that that's when you're doing that you are in the right mental spot even to win a game, because you're just taking away any early pressure you have on an early pressure god against a god that can then hyper carry late game with a nemesis.
Yeah, I feel like he just got a little bit baited in the second death there, just seeing a low health bar on the nemesis, just wanted to get that revenge kill, and just died again, and that was kind of almost could say the end of his game. Falling 2 levels behind quite early.
Yeah, it definitely was. That just that alone just meant that the jungle was never going to be anything in this game unless he went for a more tanky build, and then didn't go tankiness, went for a really slow burner in the Transcendence, which you need to at least stay even to build, and didn't just poor itemization. I just think across the board, poor play from Protectors of Yggdrasil. The Apollo ult did nothing. Like, I did genuinely just did no damage the entire game. There was so much that Protectors need to improve on in this game too, and I don't know if they have the time to do it. Euphemism looked really clean. I think the main thing they have to do is not let this jungle get a lead, because that snowballed across the map.
Yeah, one of the biggest thing for protectors here is gonna be getting the mentals back in check after a game like that where you get only 2 kills.
Yeah, and
Just
there was just no pressure. Like, they got a couple of good steals, don't get me wrong. Those were some nice little plays, but they died so much in the aftermath of the second one especially, that it just became irrelevant.
yeah, the fire giant steal was good, but like so many of them died that Euphemism just got the objectives and towers anyway. After that,
Indeed. Now, going into game 2, no changes in lineup, so we've still got the exact same people. Kali Ban coming out first on the side of Protectors of Yggdrasil. Yu Huang there as well. Still banning the Chernobog. Are we going to see Raven or Nemesis get banned? This is the question here. There is the Raven ban and the Poseidon on the side of Euphemism. Kepri comes in for Protectors of Yggdrasil. There is no reason.
still leaves out the nemesis for Team Euphemism.
Yeah, but instead Hovering Gebbon is an army. Locking in the Gebbon is an army. I don't know about is an army. I'm not a fan. She has clear, sure, but she just gets outscaled by a lot of ADCs right now.
I personally am a big fan of his army. Kukulkan and Jing Wei.
Yeah, the Kukulkan I don't mind. The Jing Wei is questionable, and Daji getting hovered here will be able to pull the Kukulkan fairly freely, and the Kepri. This is a nice little pickup here from Euphemism. Really well identified that the Daji's there and actually will have more value than the Nemesis in this one. Now, bans coming out on the other side. We see Sobek and Artio coming out, and Scylla and Thoth for Protectors of Yggdrasil. So really focusing down that mid lane, getting these picks out of there so that free count can't get them. But right now, you just want some giant burst on the side of Euphemism. Something that's just going to follow up really nicely on Daji's setup, Geb's setup. If we're looking at mid laners right now, Vulcan is quite safe here.
I mean, honestly, Freakout could just run it back with the Tiamat. He had a really good game
but
there.
He did have a good game. I will grant him that. The Tiamat did do a lot of work, but granted, it was fairly safe. The Rat didn't do anything. I think you want a big follow-up. I would like a Vulcan pick here. I think the ult that does so much damage is quite safe at the moment with the Kukulkan and Jingwei. And Shiva coming in from Euphemism. Vamana locking in for Protectors of Yggdrasil, and Mulan. That's a Vamana jungle.
Yeah, most likely will be.
And the Ra coming in. I would have loved this if not for the Vamana.
Always could be a Mulan jungle, but I know Loki likes Mulan, so we'll be probably in a solo lane.
Yeah.
Mulan in the jungle.
Ra pick here. Very interesting. I'm wondering if you're thinking the 3 is going to be able to out-sustain him that Solar Blessing. Keep him alive through the Vamana engage, as well as a Geb shield, but there's a lot. Again, this is going to be a lot riding on the junglers in this game, right? Like, the Vamana's going to need to put out a lot of pressure. Kukulkan's going to need to be hitting a lot of free ults. The Ra just needs to wait for the setup. And that ult is going to be really impactful. Vamana needs to take Ra out of this game. That needs to be Vamana's job.
This time it's Protectors of Yggdrasil with very low CC comp here. Relying a lot of Mulan and Kepri pulls here.
Yeah, indeed. They're not really going to hit massively with this Geb shield. You know, Kepri and Mulan both incredibly single target in what they can bring, and Geb is a perfect single target peeler with that shield, giving someone 600 health. And I just... The draft around the Vamana doesn't follow up really. I will say this is a much better draft for a Jingwei. We'll be able to see a lot more use than it did in that last comp that Euphemism had. But with how Tiki Tak played the Apollo last game, are we really going to see anything come out from this? I doubt it. I really doubt it. Cookie Monster is an army who can be quite aggressive in the early. If that silence comes out and hits the mark, Tiki Tak's a sitting duck.
Yeah, let's just hope that it's not gonna be a Transcendence again. I doubt it's gonna be because it's Jingwei, but
yeah, I very much think that build is going to be much more guided in this game. There's both the solo laners here opting into that Soul Eater and wanting that early sustain. Working quite nicely with both of them, actually. I don't know much about this matchup. Shiva versus Mulan. Who do you reckon wins that, honestly? Because I don't know.
I don't have that much data on Shiva solo. He
I
seems
mean,
pretty strong there, but I still would favor this Mulan
yeah, I think I'm in
lane.
agreement. Especially level 10 when the Mulan starts getting the first ability upgrade done. That's going to be
Um,
quite big. Was that what relic was that? That was an
that was
Ankh
an
that just
Ankh.
came out. Dons, what are you
I
doing?
have no, that was from Rhino.
That was from Rhino. Sorry, Rhino. What are you doing?
I feel like that's a mistake by maybe, because
Yeah, I've got the feeling that's meant to have been a frenzy.
yeah, because you
Um,
do want to Ankh on this matchup against Vamana, but you
you want it
should be
level
fine.
12. Yeah.
Yeah,
There is no reason to be picking it up this early and using it on the wave, which doesn't heal. Incredibly strange. I think that is just a bit of a misplay there and a misclick on the usage, especially. But
I will be giving him grief for that later on the team
yeah,
chat.
most definitely. Now on the other side, Freak out here going this time for the Warlocks earlier into the game, so picking that up straight after the Conduit. I'm just
Meanwhile,
interested if this is going to go into an Archmages or a Gem of Focus. I think this needs to be Gem of Focus against this Vamana.
I mean, on Ra with the low cooldowns too, I would much prefer
Mm-hmm.
Jima Focus. Meanwhile, Blank Tsukuyomi seems to be going for that Book of Thought rush. I wonder if it's gonna be the
Double
same build
stacking
I
could
was
yeah.
double stacking Bombus Hammer Kukulkan that I was doing earlier today.
Yeah, I think definitely the double stacking. I don't know if we'll see the Bumbus Hammer, but 100% double stacking. But right now, still suffering a bit with that mana usage. The Whirlwind on the Kukulkan using heavy amounts of mana early, and even with that Book of Thoth, it's not going to do much as we see the invade here from Euphemism taking away this red buff and Ghost Rider making the play towards this solo side to take away the camps. He needs to be invading right now and recognizes that himself. Is going up to go for these invades. As Lupo and Freakout continue to invade, taking away the purple buff from the side of Protectors of Yggdrasil as well. Loki going aggressive onto Omar. Omar out of mana, gets pulled under tower, but Loki so low on health he can't follow up further. Ghost Rider is here, stripping away the blue buff. He is now going to move on to the small back camps as well. Probably looking at the large back camps afterwards. Lupo's there. I'm wondering if Ghost Rider goes for a full clear here.
Yeah,
Though we
we'll
do
see
see.
if he notices the
Yeah, I thought Omar
speed buff is up.
potentially.
He is looking for that, so
Yeah. I thought Omar
but
there would have actually looked to prevent that when he teleported into the tier 2, but instead just going to wave.
Lupo
Ghost Rider's here, has used his abilities, but Lupo's there and not going to get the full sweep. Does steal away a lot and is now going to be able to go back and secure his own
I
experience
feel like
first.
that's a bit scared play from Ghost Rider. Probably didn't realize that Lupo was so low on mana.
I think it is the
Yeah.
right play though. The Darji is gonna like if the Darji gets even one of those, the extra mana it's gonna get is gonna be big. As Loki here getting incredibly low, falling to Omar there, and that is first blood done. The solo kill in the solo lane. Loki choosing not to use the ultimate to get away with it available, and ultimately paying for it. The Shiva getting that first blood, and Omar
I
proving
guess,
that once again he is a menace in this solo lane. Really nice
yeah,
kill from him. I think a little bit
yeah,
of a misplay from Loki.
that too. But I guess they're just trying to prove us both wrong. That Shiva is the one that gets the advantage in this matchup.
Yeah.
To the
I mean,
lane.
maybe. We're seeing this off of one kill in one game so far. Let's see how this gets around to the mid game when Mulan, as I said, starts getting some stuff online. Is going to be behind, granted, for a lot of this on items, but Mulan can be very potent. And Lupo here in Freak Out, looking for the steal again. Coconut comes through, doesn't actually secure the camp. Blank Tsukiyomi being forced into the beats.
Uh,
The buff has been dropped for the side of Euphemism. Big ult from my Freak Out, not quite doing enough damage to take out Blank Tsukiyomi, but a really nice hit there. Unlucky not to get the kill. Now Lupo going into the jungle of Ghost Rider, looking for a bit of an invade. Ghost Rider has the ultimate available, but not much mana for anything else. Lupo here, just going to take away these smalls. Does the damage onto Ghost Riders. Looking there, surprisingly not looking more aggressive with Depressed Rhino and Freako around the corner.
Ghost Rider actually secured those small camps too, and the red buff also went the way of protectors. So in the end, it ends up being a wash. Two ults
Yeah.
for two ults. No wait, one ult Capri doesn't even have it yet.
Yeah,
Actually, a
indeed.
win for Protectors there.
Small one. But the gold lead again already at 1,300 here, 5 minutes in. That's a little bit more than it was last time. Making sure that this blue buff does go down for Loki here. After the invades early, wouldn't be surprised with how Euphemism have been playing this aggressively, that they wouldn't go and take this instead. Go for invade there as well. Duo lane, Tiki Tak is staying up farmed with Cookie Monster, who is getting himself online. Should be able to afford a Ichval very shortly here. Most likely after this purple buff and one more wave, if I remember my timers correctly on the farm. Is Omar looking aggressive onto Loki. Loki there, getting a little bit of poke in return, but not very much. Not a huge amount of damage coming in without that Soul Eater there. He's not going to get that healing online just yet from the abilities. But is looking aggressive, very bold here, Loki. Although does do a lot of damage, but now just taking too much from minions for it to be worth.
Yeah, interesting choice from Loki there because he doesn't have teleport as Omar does. So he's probably gonna lose a bit of this farm here.
Yeah, that
Meanwhile,
is the
Omar
correct
does.
choice though against the Dashi.
I mean, yes, the beats are needed there, but
Yeah.
just
Now,
just
Daji with
playing a bit
ult here.
aggressive.
Yeah, surprised we're not seeing more aggression into the mid lane. They know the blank Tsukiyomi doesn't have the beats up yet, or they at least should know. And just not really making any plays onto him. Instead just choosing to farm and spread the pressure across the map. Really wouldn't mind them trying to shut down his Kokolkan as early as possible and stop it from becoming a factor while they can. Instead, just even Freak out to easily farm as we are actually here. Dash comes out onto blank Tsukiyomi, does take the Capri ult, uses the ult in return. Capri ult keeps him CC immune. Capri does get pulled. Now Ghost Rider's here in the Colossal Fury, looking for some return pressure, but only hitting to press Rhino and nothing else coming through from it. Nice use of the ult there from Dons to actually give the CC immunity to blank Tsukiyomi. And on the solo side here, Loki putting in some pressure on the Mulan. How aggressive is he going to get? Too aggressive potentially. Lupo and Depressed Rhino are around, but a big damage onto Omar. Doesn't quite find the kill. Omar very low though, going to have to back, but he's got the teleport ready. Not going to mind too much. And
Yeah, not gonna lose too much here, but yeah, good ult from Dons there on Blank. Cleansing that CC from the Daji ult there.
yeah, really nice little play. And because of that, Blank is still safe with the beads up yet again. Still only one kill in this game. It did go down in solo, but Loki proving that's not a huge issue. Is on the other side here, we have some aggression from Protectors of Yggdrasil onto I Freak out, getting some nice damage out. He's just going to sit there in that Solar Blessing and heal it up. Lupo here, they're getting aggressive onto Ghost Rider, who's been caught out of position. I Freak out with a wonderful snipe there to take out Ghost Rider, just stepping up a little bit much into Lupo's jungle there and getting punished for it.
But does get the speed buff, so worth?
Does indeed get the speed buff. I don't know if it's quite worth. Don's using the beads here. Blank Tsukiyomi having to run away. Still has beads available. Freak out is there, but without the ultimate, not going to have as much safe and fast range damage. Lupo is still chasing, but Blank Tsukiyomi is going to have to back Lupo instead now. Going for the red buff invaders. Cookie Monster on the duo side, taking away that purple buff from Tiki Tak, who's really not having that much luck with these. The Sacred Dragon does come through from Blank Tsukiyomi, but doesn't find the red buff. However, Don's Gaming does
Gaming
with the
with the root.
Kepri root, yeah. Really nice secure from him to just prevent that one invade from going down and just slow the XP slide. Definitely not as drastic in this game as it was in the last, but we are seeing a 2,800 gold lead for Euphemism already before any objectives have even gone down. They're really punishing just across the map the gold here, and I think a lot of that is actually in duo and solo because of how much these two are being pushed under their towers.
Yeah, one major thing for Protectors at this point is that the jungle is even at this point. That is already looking better than game one.
Yeah, Freak out, looking for the steal onto these oracles, using this ult really liberally, and I like it. Just recognizing that it's on a low cooldown, you can use it for pressure, take away that farm, and keep this lead. Why not? There's no real objective play. Pyromancer's not up just yet. By the time that the play gets made around it, it'll probably have the ultimate available again. Daji has the ult available too, so there's a lot of pressure there, and I like this usage of it. I really do. I think this is smart. Probably also going to be going into the Soul Gem here on the Ra, which I also like. being able to farm that cooldown. Omar being forced in the ultimate here onto Loki, who really doesn't care on this Mulan. The healing on that too, just showing how much value it gives the Mulan with those upgraded abilities. And now Ghost Rider is here. Omar gets knocked up, takes the full damage from the Mulan, about half health at the moment. Ghost Rider is there as well, popping out damage. Omar healing that little bit off Soul Eater, and it's going to come to nothing. And now Lupo and Depressed Rhino making the rotation onto Loki, who's caught a little bit out of position with no ult for CC immunity. He's going to fall. Lupo picking up that kill. We've got 3 kills now in favor of Euphemism. 3,000 gold lead. Pyromancer up. This is probably going to go down in favor of Euphemism unless Blank Tsukiyomi can get there with that Sacred Dragon. And the ult coming in.
Yeah, and I really didn't like the
but...
blink usage there from Loki, losing the beats, even though he was already kind of dead. If Euphemism once Lupo can just, as soon as he spawns, can just look into this solo lane again with the ult.
Yeah, Dons did have the dot there on Pyro, but Euphemism taking it blank instead, just deciding to secure his red buff this time. Not wanting to deal with that Dargy, and Euphemism just taking the objectives, collapsing on this lead, which has now grown to 4,000 gold in the last 2 minutes alone. Gaining an extra 1,300. We see that big spike there on the graphs.
Yeah, not as drastic. Not as drastic in game 1, but slow and steady climbing.
Absolutely is. I mean, if we look at every lane difference in the net worth, we've got a 400 gold lead on the jungler, 1,000 gold lead in the duo lane, 1,300 in solo lane, mid laners a 600 gold lead, there's 400 on the supports. Every single place across the map right now, Euphemism have a lead, and they are punishing Protectors of Yggdrasil with that lead, small as it might be. As here, ticky-tack.
At least it's not the Transcendence, so we give him that. But
somebody teach this man how to build. There's actually some nice damage going off onto Cookie Monster here. Does dash away. Tiki-Tac choosing not to get any further aggressive though. Don's gaming with a really nice little gank there. Blank Tsukiyomi picks up Lupo in the jungle. I think Lupo went a bit aggressive there and didn't respect the Polynomicon on the Kukulkan with some big burst damage there. The ultimate was used, and now Freakout's there, getting chased down by Ghost Rider, who runs into a wall, does get the big hits, does get a little bit of a slow. Freakout uses the beads, is able to get himself out, but a nice kill there from Blank Tsukiyomi, getting that living and not using a beads of his own? What happened?
I mean, Lupo also still having the ult there, so I guess he just got caught in the Kukulkan ult and...
Yeah, now they're looking for a Gold Fury here. Protectors of Yggdrasil, they are pulling this. They've got the Gold Fury to about half health. Depressed Rhino is there, as is Freakout, as is Cookie Monster. Freakout doesn't have the ult. Really nice engagement from Depressed Rhino. Don's Gaming getting brought incredibly low on health here. Depressed Rhino chasing it. Euphemism get the Gold Fury. Ghost Rider is now chasing in on the backlight. Freakout out of position, does get picked up. Lupo's in the air. He's looking for the chains, doesn't quite find it. Don's Gaming uses the ult on himself. Depressed Rhino having to shield himself to try and get out here. The ult coming in. Tic Tac gets the kill onto Depressed Rhino, but now Don's Gaming is also going to fall to Lupo. Whirlwind comes out, doing some big damage to Lupo and Omar here. They're chasing down Blank Tsukiyomi, who is indeed going to fall. Lupo picking up a double, but now Ghost Rider trading out on the junglers. Omar's forced into the ult, using it to try and heal and get himself out, but Loki is here, gets the pull onto him, locking him down. Big damage now onto Omar. Ghost Rider dashing into the knock-up, gets himself a double kill. That's a 2-kill swing in favour of Protectors of Yggdrasil. Euphemism do get the Gold Fury, but Protectors of Yggdrasil getting themselves a little bit of a gold return and a little bit of an XP return in that, proving how good their team fights can be, even without the mage ultimates.
Yeah, that's a really good fight from Protectors there.
Really just nicely played. Depressed Rhino making a mistake, I think. Chasing way too hard for the counter support and just didn't allow himself any ability to peel, which just left the back line of Euphemism very, very vulnerable to this Vamana.
Yeah, Lupo out there cancelling the ult early, hoping to catch Dons just with the one chain. I feel like he should have just...
well.
Yeah, I feel like he just should have stayed up in the air, get other beats or ults from people.
Absolutely. Now Ghost Rider is moving into this Toxic Blade. He's going to be even more damaging towards this Ra. And Lupo falling behind him on farm. And this was that vulnerability about Lupo that I was mentioning last game. If you can get Protectors somewhat even in that jungle, or if Lupo isn't able to abuse his lead enough, his farming around the mid game really falls off. That's what we're seeing here. He's fallen behind on XP, only level 13 now in comparison to level 14 on the Vamana, and is probably going to remain behind now until level 20, at least on experience. Only just 60 gold ahead on farm. That's a ward. This is a really nice catch up from Ghost Rider. Now Lupo getting aggressed on Loki, looking for the engage over the wall. Lupo does just about get out now. Omar engaging onto Loki, who's a little bit low, but with Don's gaming, they're very unlikely to be in any threat whatsoever, although has run away from his team. Omar still chasing. Loki here does get the pin onto the wall, gets himself somewhat out, but Omar still chasing. He's a little bit vulnerable here. Does heal off the wave, is continuing to walk away. Omar pulls him back in, but Loki just walking out now safely, but not as safe as he could have been.
Yeah, definitely not. Interesting pathing there, but I guess he just realized that there's only Omar chasing him, so not real danger.
Yeah, I think more than anything, Omar just trying to force him out so we can abuse the farm. But Loki's actually just stayed here for the next wave. Probably got an item online that he wants to get done before backing here.
Yeah, well, actually it's just gonna be the T2 Kusari.
Yeah.
Probably looking into that Genji's Guard, I would assume.
That are the only hunters. Both of them
The
work
only,
quite
yeah.
nicely, although I imagine the Mulan probably wants cooldown. Duo lane's been very quiet, but Cookie Monster has been slowly chipping away at Tiki Tak's farm here. Has a 1,300 gold lead and 2 levels of experience here. Tiki Tak with the kill and those 2 assists, but really not making the most of them. Cookie just abusing him quite well here, taking all the farm away. And that ADC being behind is really going to start to make a difference into these late game fights. Cookie already having crit online. Tiki Tak only just getting his done, but Cookie's already started now on getting his Silver Branch bow and won't be too far away that big spike in penetration. Level 18 in 17 minutes here. Cookie's been farming like a monster. And Euphemism have happy to let him do so as they engage here on Loki. Uses the beads here on the Mulan. Does get engaged on under tower, but Omar just walking away. Dodgy ult for beads. One set. About 50-50 with the cooldown reduction. That's okay.
Also, talking about builds and penetration, I feel like these mid laners just don't like penetration or something.
Yeah, I mean, at least Freak Out has 10%, right? But Blank Tsukiyomi using the ult here doesn't actually hit the mark on anyone. Don's Gaming having to use it. Blank Tsukiyomi really smart there to stay in Freak Out's heal to actually take enough damage to get himself revived. But Omar there chasing and taking him out. Ghost Rider now under the effects of the Ankh is not going to be too healthy. Depressed Rhino chasing him down. Lupo here now going on to Loki. Loki is here on his own in this fight, taking a lot of damage. Really nice block on the free by Omar. Now Loki finding himself out of position, taking a lot of damage. The Searing Wave does miss from Freak Out, but does indeed get the kill onto Loki in the end here. That's 2 kills for nothing for Euphemism. There's a Pyromancer up. They want it. And Protectors of Yggdrasil, actually you can see the pings there. Maybe looking at Gold Fury, but with Cookie Monster around with this much of a lead, I don't know how safe this is. Cookie is a little bit low, but that is an army ult. Can do some big damage. Ghost Rider is on zoning duty, but doesn't have the ultimate. Cookie are really good to just turn this here, and is indeed turning it. Ghost Rider taking a lot of damage, gets crit. Doesn't go down. Cookie Monster missing the ult and not wanting to take that final fight. Lupo's there. Protectors of Yggdrasil just about take the Gold Fury, but they are now incredibly low, and Lupo does take out Don's Gaming. Euphemism want a bit of revenge for this one. Just about taking that Gold Fury in time. And there's actually going to be nothing more taken from Euphemism unless they can push this tower in here.
Yeah, it's a really good pickup from Protectors there, getting the Fury and only losing Don's Gaming.
Really nice identification. The main problem they have is the amount of death that went on before that, before the Pyromancer, so they've nullified the lead a little bit, but really not got much from it. It's a really nice ult here, coming in from Lupo to pull Blank Tsukiyomi over the wall. No beads available. He is going to fall. That was a lovely bit of play from the Daji there. Really, really nice.
Yeah, over the wall, realizing that Blank doesn't have his beads, so there's not much he can do about that.
Yeah. Jungle.
Also,
Been picked up a lot recently, getting a lot of early kills, never transitioning well into the late game. Can one of these people please pick up crit one day? You can still go anti-heal with a Shadow Steel. Crit Vamana in that ult is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Nobody picking it up. Usually going for these sort of hybrid tanky builds. Play him like an assassin. He's great for it. play him like an assassin. The ult acts almost like a Kali ult in terms of what you gain from it, in terms of the protections and the healing. That survivability it provides for that time, the duration of it. Just start building crit on him. Let him run riot. You don't see Kalis going hybrid, and they have no issues.
Yeah, but there is always a difference between not being able to die and just healing. Especially with this upgraded Ankh now under Breast Rhino.
I agreed. But I mean, outside of that, the only healing coming in otherwise is on the Darji and Omar, who aren't really on Ghost Rider in these fights. They're kind of at the opposite ends of the team fights, where Omar and Darji ulting forwards, Ghost Rider is on the other side trying to get into the back line of Euphemism. So, Depressed Rhino with that Ankh is the only anti-heal. I don't think right now, until that gets, I mean, it has been fully upgraded, but I still think the Vamana, if with a crit, you can just run through and kill the enemy backliners anyway early enough. Because if they Aegis, they
Yeah,
can't hit you in return. Loki here now
yeah.
getting engaged on, does use the ultimate. Lupo dashes past him with his ult, but that's a 4-man rotation here. They're diving hard for this man who's trying to play around the tier 1 tower. I freak out hitting the snipe. That's another kill for him. Tier 1 tower going down. And Euphemism just continuing to abuse this solo laner here. 0-4 on the Mulan. It's
Yeah, I'm not sure about that decision to ult towards the lane.
yeah, now Blank Tsukiyomi falling to Depressed Rhino. Ghost Rodoi goes into the air, but only hitting Depressed Rhino, so he's going to find nothing with that. And Euphemism again just being able to freely abuse it. Omar is dashing in here, finding himself really out of position, a little bit low on health. Is going to dash through the tower, using the mitigations on the Shiva 3 to just about get out and not going to fall. Omar's build is interesting. Where's his Glad Shield? Why does this
And
man not have
what?
a Glad Shield? Why has he gone the Sov when you already have Sustain in the Soul Eater?
And that's gonna be Stone of Gaia, last
Most
item.
likely, yes. Lupo here, going aggressive,
it's-
forcing the ult out of Don's Gaming.
I mean, it's the T2 of that, so it is gonna be Gaia. Interesting choice.
Yeah, I
I mean, I guess.
suppose wanting to avoid the Mulan and the Kepri pulls, the Jingwei knock-up, but...
I mean, to be fair, every single member of Protectors of Yggdrasil can proc that.
Yep, indeed they
But,
can. Not a
but
terrible
yeah,
pickup, but honestly, just get Glad Shield. You're going to do so much extra damage with it and still be tanky. I think you could have foregone the Solve. I don't think the Solve is quite necessary here at all. I think the rest of it is okay. Solve, you need a Glad Shield right now if you're going to pick a warrior to have that full value late game, because this Shiva is really going to start falling off in terms of the damage output as well as being the tank.
yeah. After the buffs, Glacial is just so busted item. I feel like you should be building it every time you go warrior.
100%. I think it's almost mandatory. I can accept not getting it on the Vamana here in this situation, going for the Berserkers, but if you're in solo lane, you definitely want it as well. That should be just a staple. We see here Lupo stepping up as Euphemism have pulled the Fire Giant. Is this getting recognized by Protectors of Yggdrasil? Loki finding the dash onto Lupo, who does use the beads, is there now looking to counter-aggress. Ultimate's not being used just yet. Don's Gaming doesn't yet have his, though. Lupo looking for aggression onto Tiki Tak, who uses the ultimate. Protectors of Yggdrasil steal the Fire Giant. Loki and Ghost Rider now ulting in. Tiki Tak with no ult. Blank Tsukiyomi picks up Lupo, but Cookie Monster does trade out onto Blank Tsukiyomi. Tiki Tak doing big damage with the crit. Cookie Monster now with Omar getting incredibly low. Freak does pick up Ghost Rider. Omar though out of position. Loki is going to be chasing him down. Nice blink to avoid it, but he's going to still go down. Tiki Tak there. Missing the basic attacks, does chase, but Freak out there with the heal. The shell coming in as well, and the shielding. Omar's just about going to live. Depressed Rhino falling low, but not going to fall. Loki misses the pull in. Don's Gaming now under the tower, not going to find any damage. The rest of Euphemism somehow survive.
Omar really putting on his juke shoes there.
Yeah, and Tiki Tak showing why he's not an ADC main.
I mean, yeah, they're definitely gonna be talks in team chat after this set for
Yeah,
both Rhino and Tiki Tak. There's been some glaring mistakes, but Protectors of Yggdrasil do get the Fire Giant and the Pyromancer here,
yeah, and
rolling this game back.
yeah, I mean you can
heavily.
see just on the graphs how much of a spike in their favor that has been for them. Almost getting rid of a third of the gold deficit and about 40%. Sorry, a third of the XP deficit and 40% of the gold difference. That's been a massive swing for them, and that just leaves this game wide open for a comeback. Now, especially when we see level 20 Kukulkan here, level 20 Vamana, and just level 20s across the board, except on the supports for both teams now. That XP swing has been massive for them. There's an ability to catch up, but Euphemism here taking an uncontested gold Fury. Protectors don't even realise that this has gone down.
Yeah, to be fair, it was just a normal gold fury, so the impact isn't that as
Yeah.
huge.
Is that the
That's like
first
Oni
gold of
Fury.
the game? Or second? I think it was the second.
Uh,
Second. Or third.
Third, yeah.
I don't
It's the
remember the second one.
Yeah,
Oh, really nice pull by Lupo here. Ghost Rider again pulled out of position. Doesn't even get the ultimate off. Blank Tsukiyomi firing an ult in return. Does hit Cookie Monster, but now Blank Tsukiyomi a little bit out of position. Pops the Aegis to try and get out. Don's Gaming uses the ultimate on him, but the Book of the Dead goes down as well. That proc. Cookie Monster still here in this fight. As is Lupo. Freak out getting some good damage onto Tiki Tak and Don's. Doing a nice little bit here, especially now that Obsidian Shard's done with the Gem of Focus. And now they can just, Euphemism, just sit here and heal up and are ready to be able to siege again very, very shortly. Don's Gaming stepping up with Loki and Tiki Tak. Blank Tsukiyomi now back as well on full health, but no ultimate there for the Kukulkan. Blink in from Omar. There is some follow-up here. Freakout getting some damage on Blank Tsukiyomi, getting dove upon by Lupo. No ult from the Kepri there to help him. He's incredibly low on health. Loki now going in, but he's alone. Does fall. Cookie Monster picking up that kill. Uses the Izanami ult. Doesn't necessarily need to. Blank Tsukiyomi there with the Tornado to use that defensively. Depressed Rhino taking a lot of damage from it. Tiki Tak is dashed forward here, taking a lot of damage. Does just about dash out Don's Gaming, using the shell to keep him alive. Out of position a little bit. The Phoenix is falling though. Lupo doing some massive disruption in the bank line. Big damage onto Blank Tsukiyomi. Misses one chain. Hits the second. Hits the third. Gets the kill onto Blank Tsukiyomi. Phoenix goes down. Blank Tsukiyomi goes down. Ghost Rider is here now, looking for the kill onto Depressed Rhino, but big Geb shell coming out. They are hitting the Vamana, but he's not surviving this. The healing coming out not enough. Takes a big amount of damage, has to fall back, and Euphemism, nobody falls for them. They get 2 kills, they get a Phoenix. Their lead is back once more.
Yeah, and then everything's starting from Lupo just catching Ghost Rider by surprise with the instant cancel of the ult. Ghost Rider did have his beats and ult up there, but just gets caught. Also, as you can see, you're getting what you're asking for. Ghost Rider
Vamana's
is
going
going
crit,
for that crit.
but it's not enough, because he's only getting 1 item.
And it's gonna be a bit late for that too.
It is indeed, as we see here. Mulan actually opening into the Magi's Cloak. Smart idea of the amount of CC here that Euphemism have. A good last item pickup, that and the Spirit Robe. Got defenses across the board here, able to survive a lot. Goes, oh my god, this speed this baby has! Are you seeing how quick this child is moving right now? This is ridiculous!
He does have double blade.
Yeah, triple movement items, I know, but still. It's ridiculous. To press Rhino here again, a knock up and a little bit out of position, but not going to get punished. Got his team around him. Tiki Tak staying into duo lane here, as he's had a habit of doing in this entire game. And Euphemism grouped as 5 around this Fire Giant. They're ready for the next respawn. I'm wondering if they're going to go and almost try and delay it here. Enhanced Fire Giant coming up very shortly. Are they going to make the mistake that we made yesterday, or are they going to actually just save for the Enhanced Fire Giant? They've got a minute to wait with Fire Giant just spawning. 2 members here. Ghost Rider again picked up by Omar, taking a lot of damage. Has to use that dash out. Now Don's Gaming a little bit out of position. Does get immediately pulled in by Lupo. Don's Gaming uses the beads a little bit late. Does get the ult onto himself. Blank Tsukiyomi gets the tornado out, but it's not going to be enough. I freak out with the snipe, and Omar picking up that kill. Loki now dashing in with Ghost Rider doing some big damage. The ult comes out. Lupo is going to fall to Loki, but Ghost Rider falls into return. Omar with a double kill now. Loki a little bit out of position, falling low on health. Omar zoning massively. Cookie misses the ult once again, and the chase is on, but Loki is actually turning around now. He's managed to get out so far. Blank Tsukiyomi missing everybody with the coconut. Loki 1 health, just about surviving. Depressed Rhino now falling low. Does have to retreat. Tiki Tak and Blank here, almost full health between the 2 of them, and have just about salvaged this fight, but still 2 for 1 in favour of Euphemism. They're slowly plugging away at Protectors of Yggdrasil here, with Fire minions starting to group in that left lane, and this Fire Giant still available. They're going to go for a slow Pyromancer, take the small wins.
Yeah, Lupo again catching people by surprise with the instant cancel of the ult. Gets the ult on Don's Gaming, pulls him to his death.
Yeah, throughout all of this, though, the gold differential staying fairly even. There's been 9k in this now for about 5 minutes. Um, really no more difference there. XP's all but nullified with the supports being the only ones not level 20 now. So really, we are just looking at gold here as the difference. 9k at this stage of the game is not insurmountable. We're looking at full builds almost on everybody here now. Main ones are going to
Yeah,
be waiting for is the Hunters and their Deathbringers, but we see it actually completed for Cookie. He's 100% full build here.
when we are looking at the pause here, I assume.
Yeah, we are indeed.
And also, it is gonna be the Boomba's Hammer Kukulkan.
Yeah, so you predicted correctly. Getting the health in from that. Very low on the percentage penetration here, this Kukulkan. Also doesn't have a Divine Ruin, so really sort of relying on Vermana and Kepri for the entire anti-heal for their team when you're facing into Shiva with Stone of Gaia and Soul Eater, an Izanami with Arcee and a Ra,
Yeah,
and the Daji has Bumba's Hammer as well.
yeah,
I
double healer.
Yeah, I don't think an anti-heal has been valued enough here by the side of Protectors of Yggdrasil for the
There is
amount of healing that is provided.
Pestilence from Don's Gaming and
Toxic.
Toxic Blade from Vomana being the only ones.
That's not enough in my eyes.
Yeah, I feel like it's not gonna be enough for that, so they're gonna need to find the wins elsewhere.
Yeah.
Get the
I think credit where it's due here. I'm just looking at the player damage stats. Locky topping the charts at the moment, almost 31,000 on this Mulan. I wonder if there was more follow-up from the jungle and ADC, if right now this Mulan would actually be doing a lot more than it currently is in terms of presence in the team fights.
Yeah, maybe. Just wondering if Ghost Rider is going to be selling that Golden Blade soon.
You'd hope so. The thing is, what is he then going to pick up last in that spot?
Yeah, at this point, since he's going that route, I feel like he needs a bit of pen there.
Yeah, I think
Or just going straight to Deathbringer.
yeah, it has to be one of the two here. I think if we're looking at pen, we want to keep this movement speed. I think the serrated probably isn't a bad idea because you can use all of those abilities, go into the ultimate, still be benefiting from the passive here as we do go back into game. You do get a bit of speed from Bloodforge, I suppose, but you don't get that penetration online. Serrated, I think, would be the best play. Euphemism getting Primal Fury there is going to be setting up for this next Fire Giant. The ability to clear that very quickly. 2 backs coming in and not enough people around here for Protectors of Yggdrasil to capitalise and take a Fire Giant of their own. Lupo just hanging around the corner waiting for it. They do get the Ward Vision. But there's a lot of people not quite there yet, especially with Ghost Rider in left lane here. Ward comes out from Euphemism. They're safe to have got their backs off, buy their items and get in here.
Ghost Rider is on his way after dealing with most of the waves. There is still one fire minion wave on the left side pushing in.
Yeah, Depressed Rhino here. Look at the items. He's opted not to upgrade his starter yet.
Yeah, interesting choice. Instead going into what I assume is gonna be Spectral.
Yeah, as the fight breaks out here, Lupo goes into here. Big ult from my freak out, hitting both Ghost Rider and Blank Tsukiyomi. Neither getting pulled in, but Blank Tsukiyomi, no ult left here. No shell on the side of Don's Gaming has come out, but does pick up Omar, who's just overextended a little bit on his own, but Freak Out and Cookie Monster picking up Ghost Rider and Locky respectively. Lupo dashed into a tornado and is now a little bit out of position, but not going to get chased down. Depressed Rhino getting low. Cookie Monster here takes some big damage from the tornado, uses the Aegis and the bees to try and survive. Freak Out's looking for the flashbang here, but very likely going to actually get outbursted by the Kukulkan. Tiki Tack here, no health left, falls to Lupo, who goes in with that Geb shield quite safely. Blank Tsukiyomi now is ready for this next bit of engage. Does pick up the kill onto Lupo with the Sneeze plus Polynomicon combo. Lupo getting a little bit too big for his britches here, but they've got an Izanami, they've got a Ra, they've got a Geb, all three of them alive, they've got healing. They are now looking towards this enhanced Fire Giant with only Kukulkan alive to defend it, and he has to go and defend that Phoenix.
Interesting choice there from Freak Out just to put the heal. I mean, I guess they're just waiting for the gap to get in here.
I mean, they're allowing themselves to heal up before pulling this Fire Giant. With the damage that Cookie's taking, definitely the right call. Some poor tanking there from the ADC of Euphemism. He's really going to have to be careful with healing up here. Same with Freak Out, so that those two don't even die. Cookie's even tanking it. Cookie's going to fall to the Fire Giant. He aggroed on it before Depressed Rhino had. Cookie falls to EFG. It is probably, in fact, it is going to go down in favor of Euphemism here. They should just have enough damage with the Ra abilities there, although Ra walking into the brink is falling very low on the precipice himself. Euphemism get Fire Giant, but very, very scuffed in how they went about taking that. Really poor tanking from them.
Yeah, Cookie Monster just not stepping far out of the pit. To
Not
let
even that, he
Rhino.
aggroed it before Rhino hit it. That was the main issue.
Yeah, unfortunate that he doesn't get, but still enhanced fire giant on 3 people.
Yeah, and enough people they can push with this.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate that he's not on the ADC, but they're still gonna be, or actually also not on Lupo. Those would have been the main damage dealers to the
would have been nice.
towers.
Yeah. Thing is, even tanks at this stage with an enhanced Fire Giant without minions there are going to hit a Phoenix for 100 damage.
Yeah, and also it's gonna help.
Euphemism are too worried about it not being on everyone. At least they got it. They've also got a Trebuchet ready to push in here, and honestly, they've got 11k, 11.5k ahead of Protectors of Yggdrasil. They need to use this before item gaps start to close up completely, and potions start mattering a little bit less. Because the longer this game goes, the better a chance I think Protectors of Yggdrasil have of getting back into this. Shiva's sort of fallen off a lot now compared to the Mulan. Daji's still going to be there for the ults, but the Kolkan ults coming through have been really big so far, and Izanami is going to be able to do a lot of shredding, but Jingwei, if played correctly, should be able to do more at this stage of the game.
And we do see changes on Omar's build. He has elected to sell his soul for the Glad Shield and also his not Pestilence, the other one.
The Contagion for Spectral. As we have an engage here, Tiki Tac falling low, uses the Aegis, uses the ultimate. Don's Gaming uses the ultimate on him as well. That's 2 ults down. Blank Tsukiyomi does get pulled in. The ultimate comes out. Ghost Rider picking up Lupo. Omar now a little bit out of position. The Phoenix does go down. Locky doing some big work in the backline. Locky getting incredibly low. Tiki Tac picks up Omar. Depressed Rhino picks up Locky. Now Ghost Rider chasing into the backline onto Cookie. This is what I meant by the draft favouring Protectors of Yggdrasil at this stage. Ghost Rider and Blank Tsukiyomi are low, but the Tornado coming through. Big damage onto Freak Out and Depressed Rhino, and Euphemism are looking to disengage here. Heavy losses in that fight, just a little bit too split up for the fight there. Lupa going too deep without enough backup, and Ghost Rider and Locky just running in, doing what they needed to do in the back.
Yeah, Omar and Lupo just getting a bit too separated from the team, while Loki going to the enemy backline alone.
Yeah. I think the worst thing is Locky did as much in the back line on his own as those two did combined to Protectors of Yggdrasil. The Blank Tsukiyomi's ultimates here are really just hitting so hard. And it's just not quite getting respected enough, I don't think.
Yeah, and the Tornado also doing a lot of work in this fight, just getting the ticks on people.
Yeah. So, Euphemism really needs to close this out quickly. They've taken the Phoenix once again, but only 2 Fire Giants remaining. They really need to start pushing these last 2 towers down. They've got this Phoenix, but having towers still up at this stage game, and on Protectors of Yggdrasil, they've only taken a single tower in this entire set so far. Or, no, I think 2 towers in the set. Ghost Rider does get instantly pulled in from the dash by Lupo. Does get the ultimate out in return, but he is now engaging in a 1v2 between Lupo and Omar. Lupo taking a lot of damage from the Vamana. Vamana getting the kill. Lupo just not respecting the damage output there. Now Ghost Rider is going to try and disengage. Is able to run away and has the Mantle of Discord as his last item. That CC immunity, as well as CC coming out of its own, allowing him to escape. And another just good pickup for Protectors of Yggdrasil. The Vamana damage not respected.
Yeah, the crit damage going big there. Lupo again catching people by surprise with the instant cancel on the ult, but this time not enough follow-up damage on the Vamana, who is getting really tanky now with the Mantle pickup.
Yeah, and Oni Fury being pulled here. Protectors of Yggdrasil do not get it. Freak Out with a huge snipe through the wall. That is going to make a big difference here. The Oni Furies would have done nicely for Protectors of Yggdrasil to defend against those fire minions with Fire Giant coming up. Not having that means there's going to be a lot of pressure coming into the Titan now. Protectors of Yggdrasil have to make the most of this short bit of momentum they have with Lupo still down. Going to take this tier 1 at last. walking towards Fire Giant now, but it's not spawned just yet, and Euphemism are going to have time to get up and get there, set up and ready for it.
And Ghost Rider clearing out the waves on left too. This is giving Euphemism a really good chance for a power
Yeah.
play here.
At this stage should be ticky-tack. You need someone who's able to rotate quickly. Now Ghost Rider is on the way there. Should get there just in time for the fight here, but Lockie looking aggressive. Doesn't quite get it. Looking aggressive when he knows they've only got 4 there is really interesting to press Rhino. It's rolling dirty.
Lupo hiding
They see
behind
him rolling and they
Party.
hate him.
Gets
Yeah.
spotted out by Loki.
Euphemism here really just need to group a bit better in these fights. If they do that, they're going to be able to collapse really hard. Don's Gaming has been almost exclusively now been using the ults on blank Tsukiyomi, that Kukulkan damage really getting valued. So you force it out and then suddenly just go burn the Vamana down. You've got that Onk available, take him out, even in the big baby form, or just force the ult away from Don's. You're going to cancel the ult if you do that. That's a big ability out of the way. Then you're leaving the Kukulkan more vulnerable, especially if he's taking poke like this, freak out with a really nice wave through. Blank Tsukiyomi now without the Book of the Dead as it does get procced. Omar chasing, but chasing too deep. He's alone versus 3 here. Blank Tsukiyomi does get the ult off him, misses the mark. Don's Gaming has to use the ult on Blank Tsukiyomi. Omar now here, still looking to engage. Cookie picks up Lockie on the other side though. Omar is still here alone, does fall to Ghost Rider, just going far too deep alone to press Rhino. Is there a really big ult ultimate? Out gets the Arc onto Ghost Rider, who's now falling low. Doesn't have much health. The shell does come out from Don's Gaming, and no more was going to be found from it. Ghost Rider just about escaping. But the Phoenix in left lane does go down again for Euphemism. The only minions making the difference. Now Euphemism looking once again at this enhanced Fire Giant. Please don't let one of the carries die to it this time, for the love of all of our sanities.
Yeah, really good timing for the fight. The Tiki Tak had to go left side.
Don's Gaming so far out of position here. Does use the beads, but no reason to be stepping up. You cannot afford to contest this Fire Giant. You don't have your teammates there. If he falls, that is such a big loss for them in terms of team fights of that ultimate when it's back up. Because Euphemism then don't have to play scared. They don't have to retreat back up and buy items. And now all they need to do is wait for Omar to spawn. They've got EFG on their Hunter. They've got EFG on their Mage and their Jungler. They've got a tanky Geb who can sit there and help them stay alive. This is really looking in favour of Euphemism now, this push.
Yeah, they can just take. So there's Fireman is going to be pushing on left constantly, so they can just take their time pushing these both T2 towers.
Yeah, Fire Minions are getting pushed into though. Big wave there in left lane for Protectors of Yggdrasil. Does even take out the tier 1 tower. Euphemism just need to start pushing Phoenixes now. They need to get these towers down, finally, and they need to go into the right lane and split the Phoenix fights. If you can get fire waves pushing in at the same time as you're pushing in, there's so much pressure on the Titan that you can afford to just go and be aggressive.
And it's gonna be Emperor's Armor from Don's Game as last item, counteracting this Emperor's from Depressed Rhino here.
Nice pickup, and they can afford to at this stage. They're able to defend this. Lupo picking up that mid tower on his own, whereas the rest of Euphemism take the final tower in right lane and are now looking for this right Phoenix. Lupo splitting in mid, the right plays, keeping Ghost Rider there, who is now distracted and unable to go into the other side. Omar going aggressive, but tanking a Phoenix on his own. He is going to fall. Tiki Tak picking up that kill. Blank Tsukiyomi's hitting the mark onto Cookie Monster, who still has Aegis. Ghost Rider getting forced into the ultimate early. Really nice pickup there from Euphemism. Now Lupo into the air. Gets 3 chains, 2 beats coming out from Blank Tsukiyomi and Tiki Tak. Don's Gaming does get pulled in, but doesn't die. Freak out now, looking for the damage. Does get some big damage onto Lockie and Blank Tsukiyomi. Lupo goes in onto Blank Tsukiyomi. Uses the beads actually to get out. The Book of the Dead comes in. Don's Gaming there to support him. But now Lockie is still falling low. The Phoenix does die. Euphemism have the second Phoenix down. And Protectors of Yggdrasil looking very low. Lupo going aggressively here. Lockie falling even further on the health. Tiki Tak out of position. No dash available. Falls to Freak Out, who gets that kill. That's a lot of the defense gone. They're relying now on this mage Kolkan, but he has no Book of the Dead available. He has no Capriol available. He has no Sacred Dragon available. Final Phoenix is gonna fall here, although Cookie Monster walking into the abilities. The Sacred Dragon comes out, takes him out alongside the Tornado. Mid Phoenix does go down. Euphemism are hopefully going to be able to disengage here. Minions pouring in. Blank Tsukiyomi picking up a double. Freak Out doesn't engage or doesn't hit the mark with the ultimate. Triple kill for Blank Tsukiyomi. Protectors of Yggdrasil get the kills, but they've lost all of their Phoenixes. That's not worth it for them.
And
Look
there's a
at the
big
Titan.
wave of fire minions on Titan.
Ghost Rider is up,
Ghost Rider
but
does
rest of the
spawn,
team
but
ignoring it.
yeah, Titan is getting a lot of damage. And
Yeah, I think that wave would have been able to just about end it as well. Look how long these minions are taking to die to both Titan and Ghost Rider.
yeah,
The rest of the
this
Protectors pushing up mid here.
this Bombas Hammer on this Kukulkan really coming big, and then okay, looks like we have
Omar's looking at a backdoor. You don't get this. Depressed Rhino falling low. Omar, this is not the play. He's really not using team fights well here. Did well in lane, but in late game he's having so much less of an impact. I know Lockie's dying, but he's having less. There's a fire wave coming in again.
Wave.
Omar's still going for this now. It's moving in. The wave is there. Omar uses the ult for the CC immunity. Is running past the rest of the protectors of Yggdrasil. He's not go. He is going in
You
for
don't
this,
realize it.
he's just buying time for the minions here. Titan is gonna fall. Is it? The minions are there. Omar's there. Omar's doing the damage. Omar takes the back door. Protectors of Yggdrasil. Oh my word, that is the worst macro play I have seen since my mum tried to make macaroni and cheese.
Omar there just playing the decoy, getting both Tiki Jack and Ghost Rider just chase him down. Meanwhile, Minion's just gonna take care of the Titan.
I cannot believe what I have just witnessed.
That is a true heartbreaker after the really good fight that Protectors Yggdrasil had.
Oh my goodness. I'm speechless. I am genuinely speechless.
Flying Tsukuyomi with the 65k damage on this Kukulkan.
Yeah, making up for the lack of damage from the Jingwei. I'm lost for words. I really am lost for words. Protectors of Yggdrasil looking like they were getting back into it, and they've just thrown it away. All they had to do was play it slow. They were winning team fights. And they've tried to rush it from one win and lost the game accordingly. Just a lack of patience costing them the entirety of this set. Oh
Yeah.
my word. Initially, I thought Omar was throwing there. I did not think he would do enough, but that was just dreadful.
I mean, if they just let him go, he wasn't not going to do anything there. Just clear the minions and let him go. Or at least just send maybe Ghost Rider chasing him away. Would have been enough. Leaving Tiki Jack to deal with the minions.
Hmm. I don't. I don't. I don't. I just don't. I simply don't. I am unable to can. And that is all there is to it. I am unable to can. Also, Kepri support doing almost as much structure damage as an ADC.
Yeah, there's definitely not the best set from Tiki Jack.
No, I think
Stepping in front of Threaders here, but
yeah, that was really poor. And Protectors of Yggdrasil were losing the set to Euphemism, who I think now will take the spot over them in the seedings. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But fair play to Euphemism. Played that first game flawlessly almost. Second game, a few mishaps, a little bit of over chasing, a little bit of splitting in team fights, which did start to get punished, but then Protectors of Yggdrasil just rushing it, and nice play from Omar to recognise that and go for the backdoor. Overall, Euphemism did deserve that win, I think, most definitely, but Protectors of Yggdrasil almost let it happen.
Not to take anything away from Euphemism, they played really well both games, especially game one.
Yep.
But yeah, it definitely at least could have gone a lot longer for the game too if what did happen didn't happen.
I think objective secures not their strong point either. We saw quite a few steals from Protectors of Yggdrasil in this set. But yeah, that is a 2-0 for Euphemism. Winning it with the cheesy backdoor. Protectors of Yggdrasil going to have to go back to the drawing board a little bit after that one. Thank you to everybody in the chat for joining us tonight. I've been Ginger Archer. Alongside me has been Outso. On the spectating side was Printers. I hope you've enjoyed this set, and we will catch you for the next one. Good night.
Good night.